All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of something new. So it can't really be another exciting episode. But yeah, hi. For those of you wondering why it says Dungeons and Dragons below me, it's not. We're not playing Dungeons and Dragons. We're playing The Strange, but I didn't have time to make up a new overlay, and Dungeons and Dragons is actually physically part of the overlay. I can't take it out. So just ignore that. And the people below me, uh, that would be the wrong thing. Hold, please. There we go. Boo, 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 boo. Sorry, doing some live fixing. Here we go. Boom, boom. Oh, I can do it this way. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. I want you in my room. Okay, so enough of me singing really bad songs. The people below me are the people that are going to be playing with us today. Why don't you guys really quick just give a real quick introduction and maybe a real quick background in any role playing games that you enjoy. So we will start on the screen, the leftmost part of the screen, with Dino is the name that's on there, but the gentleman's name is Steve.
Yep, the actual name is Steve, as you mentioned. Yeah, I'm excited. I've been playing RPGs for as long as I can remember, definitely more than 20 years now. But I haven't played this specific system, so I'm excited to figure out how this one works.
Excellent. Daniel, who's going to be playing Walter.
Yes, I've been playing mostly D&D, probably mostly the last 10 years or so. Um, but I've also played the Firefly um,
I
role-playing
believe
game.
you
Yeah,
DM'd
we
me in a Firefly game that I fell asleep in.
yes, that was a Firefly, but in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. I've also DM'd the Firefly, the actual
Oh,
legitimate Firefly system. So, um, but yeah. So
cool.
this is my first time in the Strange as well.
Awesome. Next, I know him affectionately as Imp. Um,
Or damn it, Imp.
damn it, Imp. Damn you, Imp.
Imp, no.
Various variations on the word Imp. He's gonna be playing Quentin.
Hi. Yep, I'll be playing Quentin, and basically anyone who knows me would probably think I love D&D Fifth Edition. I don't get to play it enough, and that's usually the issue why I'm always wanting to play Fifth Edition. Strangely enough, though, the very first TTRPG I cut my teeth on was Shadowrun. So if you want a crunchy system, that's up there. And actually, D&D probably was probably the third system I was introduced to. My brother introduced me to Shadowrun, and then it was Vampire the Masquerade, and then D&D. And then after that, it was, I don't know if anyone remembers this, it was Earthdawn. It was Foss's D&D, which is very interesting. Basically, I've just love this. I'm aware of the cyber system somewhat. This is my first time actually being able to play, and this is a crash course for all of us.
And then finally, on the far right, playing the character of Dawson, we have Scott.
Yeah, I've been playing D&D for about 5 years now, 6 years. Way about the time when it around started. I just did it hard one shot here and there. I've only ever played D&D 5e, so I'm excited to try something different tonight.
So we're going to be expanding your world.
Yeah.
Um, cool. And then I'm Trainer Jody. I started the Dragon Age RPG, then went to D&D 4e, D&D Next, D&D 5e. I GM a game using Open Legends every other Saturday. I've played Pathfinder, and I own, I think, like 2 or 3 dozen different RPG systems because Humble Bundle is great. And I'm constantly looking for new systems and new inspiration, just because it's fun and you can always learn new things from playing different systems, even if you don't like. I don't like 3rd edition D&D. I'm not a fan of Pathfinder. Definitely not a fan of Pathfinder 2e. It's just far too complicated. I still read the books and learn the systems and want to run the systems, simply because you will always learn something new, even from really, really overly complex systems like that. So
I stumbled into first edition Pathfinder as my introduction back into TTRPGs, and my DM hated me in like in the best way. I didn't mean to. I kind of just discovered, oh, I can do this. I can pick a lock just by looking at it now.
Yep. If you, I made a video recently where basically in rules heavy systems like Pathfinder, the most important choices you make are at level up. Everything else you make is kind of secondary to how you build your character. In games that are a little bit more rules light, like The Strange or like 5e, which is more rules heavy than The Strange even. The most important decisions you make are in the game itself, in the moment. So we are going to be running the introductory adventure in the Strange core book. It's called The Curious Case of Tom Mallard. I have never run a Cypher System game or The Strange specifically. None of these people have played it. We are going to get things wrong. If you want to try and correct us in chat, I have chat in front of me. I may take the corrections. I may ignore them completely. I'm more interested in everyone having fun. So I may make some mistakes. There are some things that I am purposefully doing wrong, simply because as a training method, the trainer in my name is actually a professional title.
Also, I can promise you, we're going to make mistakes.
Yeah, we are. Totally. Over and over and over again. That's the best part. I train people. It's what I used to do when I could work, and it's what I do for fun. So I have actually I've made some specific choices to ignore parts of the rules at certain parts of the game, specifically to make it easier to learn. So, and yeah, always a great idea to watch other DMs. I may not interact with chat a ton while I'm telling the story, because I want to really focus on my players so that they have a good time. Otherwise, yeah, I've been chatting for like 15 minutes. Let's say we actually play a game here. Does that sound good? So, to bring us into the world of the strange. Have you ever been walking down the street and noticed something strange happen? You see someone turn a corner, and when you get to that corner, nobody's there. You see your reflection in the mirror move when you're not. You see an additional person reflected that's not there. Every so often, strange things happen. And for the vast population of Earth, that's all they are. Strange, weird idiosyncrasies in our brains that we'll never understand. But for those who are quickened, they're aware that the laws of physics and the rules that govern our reality aren't universal. Those who are quickened are aware that the Earth is not alone in the universe. And I'm not talking about space aliens in far-off gigagalaxies. The Earth exists within a force called the strange. It is this bizarre miasma that encircles the Earth and other realities called recursions. For some odd reason, there's something about the Earth that makes it significantly more likely for someone to be born or to become quickened, aware that this is not the only reality that exists, that these laws of gravity and physics are not the only laws out there. And because of this, quickened individuals have the ability to do things that shouldn't be possible. Now, with great power comes great responsibility and great danger. There's a group based in Seattle called the Estate. The State is full of quickened individuals that have understood the vast amount of danger that exists within the strange. People from other recursions coming here and wreaking havoc, or people from Earth going to other recursions and using the things they find there, translating them back to Earth to amass wealth, amass power. Those can cause some pretty big problems, especially if one of the really, really dangerous creatures in the strange finds Earth. So the Estate monitors the strange. The Estate monitors the quickened. And every so often, the Estate goes to other recursions to do things. Sometimes it's just to keep an eye on it. Sometimes it's to help allies that are there. Sometimes it's to hurt enemies. And sometimes it's simply to learn more. No one in the Estate really knows exactly what's going on 100% of the time. Even the higher ups tend to compartmentalize things. You four have recently been inducted into the Estate. Your experience with being quickened is different for each one of you. Some of you may have been quickened from birth. Some of you may have been quickened fairly recently, but all of you got on the radar of the Estate. And relatively recently, all of you were approached. They basically told you that they knew who and what you were. They made you an offer. You could work for them, or they would keep a very close eye on you and make sure that any of your quickened abilities were not being used in a way that they were not pleased about. They didn't go into specifics as to how they would do that. But all of you made the decision on your own that, hey, the Estate might be interesting. It might be that you wanted to experience new recursions. It might be that you didn't like the fact that someone's going to be watching you. It could be a million different reasons, but all of you guys have found yourself as agents of the Estate. None of you have met before this day, but today you were all told by your handler to come in by 9 a.m. sharp. Check in at the front desk, and they took each one of you individually to a room. The room that you're currently in is, for lack of a better term, boring. There's a large white desk or table in the middle with 10 chairs around it. The walls themselves are white. The fluorescent lights are white. It's very sterile. Even the air itself smells slightly artificial, like there's some sort of ozone purifier nearby or something along those lines. As you all get in there, you notice there are other people in the room, and thus far the door is closed behind you, and no one's really told you anything other than you're supposed to be here. And it is now 9:01. What would you all like to do?
Walter just reaches into his pocket and pulls out a deck of cards that he always has with him and just starts shuffling them.
Yeah, Dino's going to end up fidgeting with his hands and then crossing his arms, getting a very impatient look on his face and asking, like, what are we doing in this room?
Well, they just told us we were supposed to come here. I'm Quentin, by the way. I haven't really run into anyone else here from the estate. I've usually been working with them off and on. They've gone through a lot of tests, a lot of tests, a lot of tests. Part of me is wondering if this is part of another test or not. I've gone through a lot of that with them. Pretty sure. I'm guessing we have like our stuff with us. Did they like confiscate anything, like, or just say like, nothing beyond this point type of scenario?
You would have been told to come dressed in nice clothes, whatever nice clothes means to you, and you would have been told to not come with any weapons or anything. So most of the stuff in your character sheet you won't have with you. You're effectively wearing clothing and whatever you think you could conceal.
Well,
there was a metal detector on the way.
Curious about phones.
They would have taken your phones when you checked it.
Okay.
Which anyone that's been to the estate before knows that generally outside of the waiting area, phones are always taken.
Okay.
Though you have seen a few people that just kind of walk in and they bypass metal detectors, they bypass turning their phones in. You don't know who these people are, but every so often they show up and they just walk in and nobody but bats an eye.
Yeah, so usually it's all I usually used to working with computers. That's kind of how they found me when I was looking into questions I had, and I guess they kind of all felt how I ended up here. Now every time I come here, they take whatever tech I have and they give me this and this. Fun.
All of a sudden, the door opens, and you see a smartly dressed woman wearing a pantsuit. It's gray, which is a nice departure from the white of everything in here. She comes in, she's got a few papers. She comes in, goes to the front of the room. So that's the papers down. Okay, I am Catherine Manners. My job title is irrelevant. I'm telling you why you're here. If you have any questions, ignore them. I will tell you what you need to know, and I will tell you what questions you can ask me later. Right now, we have a job for you. She opens it up and she brings out a picture that she places on the desk. The picture is of a gentleman with kind of plain features, short brown hair, blue eyes. The picture is obviously not candid and has been zoomed in, and it's not the absolute best quality in the world, but it's very easy to identify him. This is Tom Mallard. He's a recursion miner. And she kind of looks at you. He's quickened. He goes to the Arden recursion to get things, ciphers and the like, that he thinks are useful. Brings them back here to make himself money. Thus far, he hasn't done anything horribly wrong, but we like to keep an eye on him. That's where you all come in. You are going to be taking a shift watching Tom. Make sure he's not translating any dangerous ways. Make sure he's not doing anything dangerous, bringing attention to himself, doing anything that could possibly quicken other people or cause issues for Earth, like getting a planivore over here or anything like that. Is that simple enough for you?
Are we actually translating? We're translating? We're going to be going to where he's been going?
He lives in Seattle. He's
How is he
relatively
translating?
Close. He hasn't translated in months. We just know he's quickened, and at one point he was translating. That's why we have him watched. We actually have a bug in his house. It's been uneventful, but we need someone physically there to monitor him.
So my baby is
Effectively.
I guess stakeout, the law enforcement term, I guess.
We're not law enforcement. You're
Okay.
babysitters.
Yeah, you keep telling us that.
Yeah, Dino huffs. When Dawson points out that it's babysitting, he like looks off to the side. He's gonna do it, but he's annoyed.
Is this an observe report type scenario, or are we
Yes.
expected to interact?
We want you to observe. If you notice anything strange, you're given permission to investigate. If you need to, you can interact with him. We would prefer you not to use the estate's name, but he is aware of us. He has been warned. Anything you find strange, him using his quickened abilities in public, anything, write it down. And if anything happens, you are licensed to use any force necessary against an extra recursion creature here. Anything not from this recursion, do whatever the hell you want. However, we want no human casualties. We'd prefer if Mallard was not damaged. Beyond that, make sure he's not doing something stupid.
What is his quickened capability?
I don't have that here.
Hmm.
We just know he's quickened.
And how
So
long?
you've been observing them for however long, but you don't know who is not in the report.
That information is not necessary for the report. If he uses a quickened ability, you will recognize it, you will report it. There's 4 of you and 1 of him. I sincerely doubt any of you will have any issues, especially looking at your own profiles. And you see her leafing through a few more papers. I sincerely doubt you will have any issues. This is a starting point for you all. You are all new. You are all very green. If you do well here, we may decide to give you more significant work. Any other questions?
How long is the babysitting job?
Quick addendum. Ignore the fact that he hasn't translated before. What she actually said, because I'm rereading this, he primarily translates to Arden, usually to a shop in the markets of Hazurium, looking for ciphers. But he's also visited Crow Hollow. Crow Hollow is another recursion where everyone are humanoid crows, and it is a recursion specifically that attracts other travelers of the strange. It is kind of like the city of Sigil in the D&D multiverse. It's kind of in between meeting place for travelers of the strange. Sorry, what was your quick question now that I've retconned that?
How long are we supposed to be watching him?
That's a fantastic question. We will let you know when it is over.
Got it.
Effectively, if you think he is currently at home, if you think he translates, that may be a good time to see if you can find anything in his house to figure out more of what he's doing. But as of right now, he hasn't translated in a little bit. He's been home for a couple months here, so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is there a
So,
is go ahead.
would we be familiar with all this?
You would be aware of it. Part of your training for the estate, they would have gotten you familiar with effectively two major recursions, or the recursions closest to Earth, which are Arden, which is a high fantasy kind of realm, sword and sorcery, and then Ruck, which is a more science fiction body modification, almost H.R. Geiger kind of a place. Arden tends to be a little bit more hospitable than Ruck. But as of thus far, none of you guys have translated anywhere. However, you are all aware of how to translate. That would have also been part of your estate training. Any other questions?
Is there a dossier on this guy that she's providing us, or is it just like what she's telling us is what we know and that's it?
She hasn't given you a dossier or anything. She has. She does go here. She gives you a very short psychological profile report, which basically says he's pedantic and annoying, but mostly harmless.
And I assume she gave us his address.
Yes, she did give you his address.
Are we going to be in like a how to put this clandestine type van with like a fake business on the side, or
You
what are
have
we
an
looking at here?
apartment across the street.
Oh, at least we're not going to get all stuck in a van.
Like I said, if you think he's translated, which again, we have a bug, he sounds like he's been there for months. But if he, for whatever reason, decides to translate, go in, get us some more information about him. Again, my file here is remarkably thin. I like fat files.
Given to understand that we may have to check up on him, I'm guessing in some way. I hope someone has some means of entering a home. Will we given any equipment?
You'll have
Yeah.
standard equipment packs available to you. They include field rations, rope, other things that are generally useful in the idea that you will be translating somewhere else.
Well, I just mean in case we have to go to his home, if I have to take a look at his computer or anything.
No, we have no equipment for that. If you have your own equipment for that, feel free to bring it.
Okay, great.
We done here? Because you guys have a train to catch. Great! And she places 4 cards on the table. There's your train cards. Have fun.
Thank you, Miss Manners.
We'll call you. And she leaves.
Okay.
Right.
Yes, he's been about as pleasant as everyone else I've been running into.
Yeah, Dino's gonna look at Quentin and be like, "We've got a job to do. Let's go." And just grab like his ticket and walk off.
Yeah, I was doing the same.
Do any of you guys want to effectively? I assume you all kind of head back to home or whatever to get the rest of your equipment, and then you all meet up at the train that, for the life of me, I can't remember what it's called in Seattle, but they have a very lovely train system there that I've ridden on. So, it's not incredibly difficult for you guys to get to where you need to go. You find the house itself is a decent house, especially in Seattle. It's a 2-story, nice-looking house. It's got an attached garage. It's in a pretty nice neighborhood.
I'm assuming this is like modern times.
Yes, this is all happening today.
Right.
Um, and for the first few days that you guys are there, nothing. You have access to the bug in his house, and you guys can hear. You hear him walking around. He doesn't ever talk to himself or anything. And for the few days that you guys are there, you don't see anyone come or leave. He never sets foot outside the house. You do see the lights turn on and off and things like that, like you would expect for someone living there, but you never see him leave. There are no deliveries, nothing.
Have we ever heard him like taking phone calls, video conversations, just clacking away on a computer or something?
Nope. You hear, you hear him moving around, bodily functions, things like that. Every so often, you'll hear maybe a computer noises and the things like that, like a keyboard and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
he never says anything. Doesn't hum. Doesn't do anything.
TV or anything? Radio or anything like that?
Nope.
I would have checked on the web on anything about Tom or Thomas Mallard.
Nothing. No Facebook profile. No Twitter account. I mean, you found quite a few of them. None of them were of Tom. He online. He doesn't exist.
Mm.
Not even a Spotify playlist.
And Quentin with computer science, he would go as far back. He would go through.
Yep.
Anything, just like this guy. He has almost no presence.
Yeah. I'll go as far as saying, because of your computer background, it would be odd that you couldn't find a digital fingerprint of him. It's not completely out of the ordinary. There are some people that are just very anti-tech. So it's not impossible, but
not even old accounts, not even old profiles.
you found again. It's
Not even
it's
MySpace.
always theoretically
Nothing.
possible he could have used a name that you are not aware he used.
I think Quentin would know how to look for that too, but he's just like,
Well, even then,
On the
there
little
would have to
information
be
he has.
something to link it to the name Tom
Yeah.
Mallard. So as far as you can tell, there are Tom Mallards on Facebook, on Twitter. None of them live in Seattle.
Mm.
As far as a Tom Mallard that lives in Seattle, that lives in this address, even looking up property records and things like that, his name isn't actually listed on public property records, which is another thing that's not completely unusual.
but you look at like utilities and
utility bills and things like that are not public records that you can search. If you were to go through his mail or things like that, you could find that information. But you can't look up people's utility bills by their name or anything like that legally. Like, so if you wanted to do something a little more underhanded, I would need a roll for that.
What do the most recent property records show?
The property hasn't changed hands in the past 4 years. And the value of the property has appreciated about 20% in the past 4 years. So last time it was sold,
Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle. To be perfectly honest, a 20% appreciation rate over 4 years in Seattle is insane. Despite the kind of skyrocketing cost of everything there, 20% is still really good over such a short period. So yeah, the last time the house was sold, it was, you would assume when he bought it, it was about 20% less. I don't know what housing costs in Seattle are right now, so pick a number.
Well, the answer
Let's
question,
say let's say it's a a $500,000 house. That seems like something you would find in rural Seattle.
is the property in his name, or is it sometimes they have like a company will own it as opposed to a person's name?
As far as public records are concerned, you cannot find a name on this property. You can see it was purchased through things like Zillow and stuff like that. They'll make mention that it was purchased. You cannot find a property name anywhere.
That's
For
true.
an
As
owner.
a little outside of character, I work at the appraiser's office, so
It is very-
there's and it's public for a lot of things, unless they go private on the name. But a lot of stuff is actually like
Yep.
property who owns a property.
So this again, it's weird that you can't find
Yeah.
it, and that would be something that you would recognize. Sometimes the lack of information is almost more important than the
Yeah.
information you find. So
So after a few days of this, I'm just gonna go to the others and go, do we want to have a face-to-face with this guy? I mean,
we were
just
kind of told not to interact with him if we could avoid it. We're really essentially just watching him. I mean, if he doesn't do anything, I'm hoping eventually they're going to like either reassign someone else or call us off. I mean,
Yeah. Dino is gonna huff in between push-ups and be like, "The mission was observe. That's all we do."
Yeah.
I mean, but don't we at least want to make sure that it's this guy in there and not somebody else? I mean,
it's
what if
him.
he's
We see him. We see him come and go.
have we seen?
I'm
we
taking
haven't seen him
notes
come
every
and go.
time.
He hasn't left, right? Am I wrong? We haven't seen him.
not at all.
Well, he's not left the house at all.
He hasn't left the house at all.
No one
So-
has entered or left the premises for the 3 days that you guys have been.
So we don't really know that he's in there.
So it's a boombox with the tape on cycle.
I got an idea.
You mean some Ferris Bueller scenario?
Give me some time. And so I would like to leave.
Okay.
I will go. I will take my duffel bag with me, and I will assume that I have a slight change of clothes in there.
Yeah, you guys. This is a long-term stakeout. You were meant to be here for weeks, so you guys would have
Perfect.
multiple things of clothing.
I will go around the corner and buy 2 Domino's pizzas.
Okay.
I will leave there. I will change into my.
If you would like, 2 Domino's pizzas are going to cost you at least like 22, 23 bucks. But they have a deal called their 555 deal, where you can get 3 medium 1-topping pizzas for only $5 a piece.
I'm gonna do that.
Did the estate
So-
give us a per diem?
No, this is all your own money you guys had to spend.
They must really
I
like
did
they're really
not
flexing on us.
really focus on how much
Oh, it's
money
fine.
you guys have. So let's just pretend you have more than they pay you well enough to deal with incidentals, as long as it's not
Yeah.
too far outside the realm of reason.
Or I was thinking like it could also just be like keep your receipts.
Yeah.
So
Officially, you guys are actually sent groceries once a week. So they technically have a company that they contract through that just sends you guys generic good groceries. None of it's super great, but it's fresh food.
I was gonna say, yeah, I got my pizzas.
By the way, the only reason I know that is I delivered pizzas for Domino's for 2 years, and that has never changed. To this day, that coupon still exists, and it was like 15 years ago I delivered for him. So
Is this where the Dungeons and Dragons label falls off and it's
And
actually a Domino's
Domino's!
ad?
Sorry.
Did the smell ever
not
leave your
good
car?
Food.
No, it
The
doesn't.
shirts that I wore,
I had a
I
friend who used
still
to do
have
that.
one of them. I don't wear the shirt, but I washed it a million times. It still smells like Domino's. The smell never goes away, ever. Anyway, so you've got your
So-
pizzas.
I got my pizzas. I am going to.
I will say again, for my own knowledge, all Domino's drivers are in uniform, always.
Yes, I have a Domino's
Okay.
uniform.
That I'm perfectly fine with, but
Thank you.
they're not hard to get, folks.
Right. So I will. So you guys will see me. I leave with my duffel bag. I come back. I'm carrying a stack of pizzas, and I just walk up to his front door and knock on the door.
So just so I understand everything that's happening, the 3 of you see Walter leave. About, let's say, 20 minutes later, he comes back. You guys see him at the home on the ground floor. You guys are about third floor in this apartment building. you guys see him in a Domino's uniform walking up to the front door of this place that you are watching. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
What would you guys like to do now that you are aware of all this?
I'm going immediately to the listening equipment
Okay.
to hear from that end.
All right.
What is he doing? What is he?
Yeah, Dino's annoyed, but I'm staring. I'm out there with the binoculars or whatever, like staring at like every move, and I'm using my trained military eye. Like I'm assuming that there's like ninjas ready to jump out from the shadows at him.
You're looking for targets. You're looking for anything that would suggest
Yeah.
security.
I would probably follow him out, but keep it saying two other people behind him and get behind him that has back up if he needs it.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Walter, real quick, what time is it? Because again, you had all day to come up with this plan. You can choose what time you wanted to show up.
I'm thinking 5:45.
Okay, cool. So you get there at this time of the year. Due to the fact that Seattle is a strange anomaly of a city, even in the middle of winter, it's not horrendously bad as far as temperatures are concerned. So it's in the low 40s right now. As you get to the door, what do you do?
I knock and say, "It's pizza time."
Nothing happens.
Knock again. I got pizzas here. Listen.
Do I hear anything?
You
I
guys
hear him
don't
knocking?
you guys don't have a listening device near the front door, so you on the listening device you actually don't even hear the knocking.
Did they just set it up and just like in the living room or something? Because we've
They have it in the
bed.
they have it in the bedroom, and they have it in. Let me look at the map here. I have a map and everything because I'm super cool. They have. Let's see. Oh no, I guess you would because they would have the office bugged, and the office is right next to the front door. So yeah, you do hear it kind of very faint. You do hear pizza time.
I don't hear like any movement, any.
You still hear the normal movement that you hear. There's no change.
Someone's moving around in there.
Do we have a community device in between us?
You have cell phones.
Hello? Is there anybody in there? I'll kind of like I will try to like peek. Is there like any windows next to the doors or like windows that I can see in?
The front of the house, the way that it's set up, there's a porch right next to the garage. And you have like the door here, and then there are two sets of double windows. So you have door, set of double windows, a little bit of space, set of double windows. They have Venetian blinds that are closed.
Okay, so I can't like peek through.
Nope. Currently, there is a light on in the room right there.
I will text Quentin if he knows a spot. It is the spot to Walter's not here.
Okay. So Quentin, you get a little text. Hey, anything happened in the house from the knock?
Yeah, I'm not. I'll text back. I'm not hearing anything.
Were
Hello?
you texting Walter or Quentin?
Quentin.
Oh,
Well, I'm in the house.
You're in the apartment?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, because you said Dawson was outside following
Yeah,
Daniel.
Dawson's nearby.
Oh,
Yeah.
I text back and it's like I hear. I'll like include Daniel and Dawson.
Yeah, you
Just
guys
like
have a
going,
group text.
just going general movements.
Yeah. Nothing
Doesn't seem
about
to,
his
doesn't
routine
seem-
has changed at all.
Do you think you're right? I think he Ferris Bueller'd us.
yeah.
I'm gonna check the door. See if it's,
That's really impressive equipment. Because generally, you have electronic equipment playing sounds like that. That's like if he's doing that, that's really impressive.
I'm gonna try the door.
As you do it, it's locked.
Come on, I can't go back to the store with this. I'm gonna get fired.
You do notice in the door itself has a little window that's frosted glass. It has a little sticker. It says protected by ADT.
I do ask a question. I go like, is there a ring? It's like, and I think I'm like, is Dino like tech savvy, or is he like?
Walter is.
I don't know about Dino. I was actually like, does Dino know about tech?
Yeah, Dino's not tech dumb. Well, he's not he's not a computer scientist, but he's modern.
Oh, okay. I was just like wondering, it's like, okay. I was wondering how much I should include like
He's
a
former
ring
military,
camera.
So I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
they've got a decent amount of tech knowledge.
Well, there's also survivalists, so I just want to be clear. So, like, is there a ring camera? Is what I text Walter.
You add the word camera in there?
Yeah.
Okay, because Walter's not tech savvy. He was gonna. It just says protected by ADT.
So no little box with camera on by door over door.
Do I see a camera?
above
Not
door?
Not as you can see. There's a doorbell, but it looks like just a regular old doorbell.
I will try the doorbell.
Ding dong.
Well, he doesn't have a dog.
As you're standing there, the lights in the office turn off, and you guys see lights in other places of the house turn on.
Now, have we noticed a pattern of the lights in the things that we've been doing today change at about the same time every day?
It's a very
Yeah,
good
with all
question.
those Quentin's notes.
Just due to the fact that we haven't rolled yet, why don't you give me a roll to see if you've noticed anything? So again, quite literally, all you do is roll a d20. We're going to call this just a difficulty 3 task.
I don't know if I could help with this at all because I think Quentin would be the type of guy who's been assigned to like at 3:45 this, at 6:45 this, at.
Quentin is an asset for this, so that'll reduce it down to a difficulty 2 task.
I rolled 2.
2. Okay. So, between the two of you, you haven't yet discovered any sort of a pattern, but you haven't really been focusing on that particular thing. Given a few more days, that might change, but as of right now, you guys really haven't been looking for a discernible pattern.
I am going to go around to the side of the house and see if there's access to the backyard.
The houses here are built pretty close together. There's no fences or anything like that. But the next house over is within about like 20 feet of this one. But as you look for the backyard, as far as I can see on here, are you going to go looking at the front of the house? You're going to go left or the right? The garage is to your right.
I will go around the right hand side of the house.
So you go around the right hand side. There's almost nothing on this side. You can see a window that looks into the garage itself. about halfway down the house, and then at the far end of this side, there's another double set of windows.
Okay. I will try to look into the windows.
Venetian blinds again.
My
The garage door one are not Venetian blinds. It is just so caked with stuff that it effectively could be frosted glass.
I will walk in to the back of the house.
Okay. Again, the back of the house. There's no door back here, but a lot of windows.
Okay. No door, lots of windows. Are all the windows covered in Venetian blinds?
Yepers. Seems this guy really likes his privacy for some odd reason.
Do I see?
Now, did he go on the garage side or the other side?
He went around the garage side of the house.
Alright.
You want to continue the loop? You have one more side you haven't looked at.
Yep, I'll continue around the
When
loop.
you get to the far side, you do see that there's another, effectively, the back door is on the side of this house. And then, again, a few more. You do see a kind of very small window here that isn't covered. But as you look in, it's very, very dark. And if you shine a light into it, it's a pantry.
Alright, well then I will,
I'm going to do an intrusion here for you. So you can go ahead and take a point of experience. You can give a point of experience to other people. As you are coming around, you hear, hey! Hey! You see a light shine in your eyes. What are you doing?
hi, yeah, I'm a Domino's
Hey,
driver.
hey! Let me see your hands.
I got pies.
Okay.
You want me to
I
set
don't know
them
how
down,
many
or?
Domino's pizza drivers go around their house. Come on. Let's come out to the street. And the officer
right.
is coming out. Come on.
Yeah,
What are you doing here?
I had a pizza delivery.
Does the
There's
delivery
somebody.
say to deliver it by going around the entire house? Is that what your delivery
Sometimes
slip says?
I can't get the attention
Where's your
of the person
delivery
in the
slip?
house.
Where's your delivery slip?
It's right here. It's supposed to be a delivery to a Torres. Son of a. It's a phony order. It's clitoris. That's who
You see him just
the
kind of
delivery
looking
was supposed to go to.
Go ahead and
I
make me a roll to try to deceive him.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
Now
this is going to be a difficulty 4 because he doesn't really trust you.
I'm trained in deception though.
Okay, so that'll reduce it down to a difficulty 3.
Now, if his last name is Slizlak, he's not going to understand.
Okay. All right.
Did I see the car?
I'm going to say because this was an intrusion, you were focused on something else, and then as soon as you heard the hey, you're like, shit, it's a cop. From what you can gather, the cop was just kind of patrolling and seemed to just kind of show up. He's parked in front of another house and seemed to have walked over here. So.
Ooh, I rolled an 18.
18. All right. So he sits there and he's like, you must be new. I know most of the delivery guys around here.
Yeah, this is my first night working at this store, and man,
We got a couple calls of someone trying to break in here. All right, so you're this isn't okay. All right, we normally have a really good relationship with the delivery guys here. All the other delivery guys know this is not an okay thing to do. You knock on the door, you ring the doorbell, you call the number that they gave you. I don't want to see you walking around people's houses trying to deliver stuff. All right?
Okay, yeah, no, I'm sorry. It's my first day here. I'm just, my wife
Quick
left
question
me.
for you. How old is Walter?
Walter is I'm basing him on Robert Picardo.
Okay, so you're
So he's
balding.
older. I'm
Okay.
balding. I'm a little bit older. I'm just like,
Listen,
look, my wife left me. I got laid off 3 weeks ago. I need this job, or else I'm going to be out on the street. So I, I,
what's the tab for the pizzas?
it's $15.
Mm.
You know what? Guys haven't eaten yet tonight. He reaches into his pocket.
Oh,
He gives you 20. Keep the change, but you gotta promise me here. You're not going to. I'm not gonna catch you doing this again. All right?
oh no, I promise you will not catch me again.
Okay. I'm not gonna talk to your boss or anything like that. We got this squared away. If something like this happens again, I gotta talk to your boss, and I will guarantee you won't be working anymore. We understand?
Crystal clear, officer. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
And he goes there, and he takes a piece, and he immediately starts going, "Who the hell orders pineapple? Just pineapple." And he walks away. You hear him kind of whisper into his shoulder thing. Yeah. He rattles off police numbers that I don't know any
Yeah.
of them.
All right, so I will head back. I will head back in the direction of the Dominoes, and then find an alleyway, change back,
Okay.
and then go back.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna ask for where Walter was when I heard it talk, but so we'll probably just be up whenever I can.
Okay. So you kind of you go off a little bit, and then as soon as he's out of the way, he's like, "Dude." All right.
Everything okay? Hey, Walter.
Yeah, no, I'm okay. That was that was a little closer than I would have liked. That was a little unlucky, but
You see anything in there?
no. I saw an inside of a pantry. Everything else is covered. Did you guys hear any difference? Did it sound like he was?
Well, we clear. Are you two having this conversation, or did you actually come back and you're?
I'm back in.
Okay.
So.
Oh, alright.
Sorry. So did you hear the doorbell?
I heard the doorbell, and I'm still listening. Like when you get back, it was like, is there still just the general movement we've been hearing
Yeah,
since?
it is the same movement you've been hearing for 3 days.
Yeah.
There's been no change to his routine whatsoever.
Wait a minute. You're saying who called the cops on you?
I said a neighbor because somebody had been breaking in. I tried not to ask too many questions because, you know.
Well, yeah, but there's literally. You would think this guy either he just didn't hear you, or he's just oblivious, or he don't care. He's been moving the same time. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody in the house. I think he's transitioned.
Yeah,
I think we need to go in.
I think we've been feelings.
Okay, I guess we report this back to them then.
I mean, what are we going to report?
Well, they did that was that if you
You want
say
to
it with that they wanted to investigate.
so you want to verify?
I think we should verify.
Okay.
And if I didn't make this clear, part of your orders was if he translates, you're supposed to investigate to see exactly what he's been doing because they don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna have to wait just to make sure tension didn't go, and someone called us on there, so I'm not sure how we're gonna get in there. I don't normally break into places. I look into other things, and then they found me, and
Well, this is your lucky day. It's the first time for everything.
highly doubt that. Highly doubt that.
First time for everything.
Sounds like a good old fashioned B&E.
Yep.
So, what could you tell us about ADT alarm systems?
In general, they're just like the most basic security systems. I mean, to be perfectly frank, there's every possibility he just stole the sign and he put it on the door. I mean, that's also a pretty common thing too.
I will say,
Um,
Quentin,
This,
with your background, you would already be aware that the house has its own Wi-Fi called Twispavia is the Wi-Fi network there. And if he did have an EDC system, it would be connected to his Wi-Fi.
So we
I'm
just
sure.
need to.
even
What-
then, we just need to see that he's there, right? We could be in and out of that room for 5 minutes. You know, if we see him, we leave. If we don't see him, we leave.
given the response time, you know, being to how quickly being him. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, he's a rich guy in a white neighborhood, so the response time was pretty on par with that. If we can get past the security system, otherwise, we could really be on the clock for what we need to find.
Wait a
I
minute. I've watched a lot of those like cop shows on TV.
Oh
Can't
God.
you write like a Visual Basic application to hack into his to hack his
What?
Wi-Fi
It
to
might
track
can't-
his network traffic? Can't we just take over his webcam? I mean,
Quentin
come on.
Quentin is pretty much like he's in IT. That's kind of like because he has computer science. He's just like, why do they always think it's that goddamn easy? They think, oh sure, I'll just look for the back door that every programmer puts into the system that every other programmer. It doesn't work like that.
Just hack his internet.
I mean, yeah. I mean, can't you just do the thing? You know, with the they make it so easy.
I can probably look into his Wi-Fi, but given how he has no internet presence, that's probably gonna be a little interesting. But I might have to try that, depending on if I need to disable his security system. If it's tied to his Wi-Fi, I might be able to pull something. Being that Quentin does know about computer science, but he's not a hacker, I don't know if he knows it. Like if Quentin might be able to utilize the proper applications to get
From-
around something like that.
Someone that was a computer tech,
Okay.
a very an entry level computer tech would understand how to look at a network
Yeah.
and find out devices connected to it. Like that is not a super hacker type thing. That is literally the kind of stuff you do to earn money in college.
Well, I meant like actually there's a reason why routers have passwords and Wi-Fi
Yeah.
setups on the
if-
Wi-Fi themselves.
If you want to try and guess the password, you might be able to pull that off. As far as like hacking, quote unquote, the password or cracking the password, that would require a specialized program. That is not. I'm going to try and say this as safely as possible on the internet where things exist forever. Finding a program like that for someone that is very unscrupulous and obviously is nothing like me is not an incredibly difficult thing to do if you have loose morals. So I will leave it up to you as to whether or not, with your background, if you
I think
have a program like that. Cracking a password is
Not as
not
easy
an
as you would think. Yeah.
It's not the most difficult thing to do depending
Yeah.
on the encryption.
Rainbow tables. Sorry, excuse me.
I have no idea what that is, and therefore would never suggest anything. I'm telling you right now, I will let you decide if you think your character, whether through paranoia or through actual interest in maybe white hat hacking or something, would have access to a password cracker. You have it. Again, there's something that you could very easily have access to.
Simpler solution. Look for the simplest solution. Can we knock his power out?
Yeah, that was to be my success.
That is not something that's in the module. I like that. Take 2 experience points for that.
I pose this to both like the others, like because that's I mean, like if we knock his power out, a power outage would get reported, but that would also take care of the security system because they would report the power outage.
Unless the security system has a battery backup.
I mean, if he tied it to the Wi-Fi, possibly, but we'll be able to know that if when the power gets knocked out. If he has a battery tied to it, it wouldn't be just the router; it would be the computer as well. And if there is that kind of activity still in the house, we would still be able to tell if any lights are still on, or any ambient light would be going on, even if through blinds, there would be something. It wouldn't be just pitch black.
Uh-huh.
If you guys want to try and knock out the power, I will say you can't. It'll take a roll to do it, but I'm going to say it'll be a difficulty 3, and most of the difficulty will be getting down there without people seeing you.
Uh-huh.
If any of you have any skills you think would help you in that particular instance, you can try it. Or if someone wants to make a diversion or something like this, is entirely up to you. I'm saying if you want to knock out the power, it's difficulty 3. Somebody give me a roll for it.
Now, Quentin, part of our job was to figure out what you're up to. We're not in a power out. The fact that his computer file out.
Yeah, if you see his computer disappear, then you'd know he didn't have power, right?
If I could see what would be tied to the Wi-Fi, unless he's plugged in directly into the internet. But most people, I mean, generally they'll still usually be hooked into the
Theoretically,
computer. Will still be hooked into the router.
To see anything on the network, you would have to be logged into the network.
Yeah.
And so Dino wants to do the Guy Ritchie montage here, where he's like, you know, Daniel, not Daniel,
Walter. Sorry.
Walter, you're gonna stand on the street and be lookout. Dawson's gonna knock out power. Quentin, you monitor his internet, and then I'm just gonna break into the house after we wait. Who did I say break? Stop. One of us is gonna knock out the power.
The neighbors already reported on Walter.
Yeah.
If they,
So
if I mean, I would be the best choice. However, I've already shot my shot, and yeah, I've already played the hard ace.
okay, so then you stand back from a distance and keep a lookout, and then I'll be down there, get ready to go into the house, and then Dawson. Where are we knocking out the power? I guess Dawson knocks out the power, and then I'll go in the house.
So effectively, if you want to power down just the house, you have to go to where the power lines actually connect with the house.
Yeah. So then Dawson will be with me and Dawson. Dawson and Dino will go down. And we'll do like, a 3, 2, 1 thing. He knocks out the power, and then I'll, do a quiet smash the glass, reach in, open the door, go inside.
Okay.
Now, I would imagine, since we need to be close, I would probably be like, I'll be like by our apartments, but like I'll be like, I can just hold up a cell phone and like see if because you have the Wi-Fi up.
Yeah, you can tell if the Wi-Fi drops pretty easily if you're searching for Wi-Fi on your cell phone. So
yeah.
Okay. So
that way they might need me, and then I have my stuff ready to go too, in case we have to be really quick, and he might have a computer for me to look at.
Between Dawson and Dino, who wants to make the roll? It's gonna be difficulty 3 for either one of you. I just from another system I've played, I generally like every roll matters. So I generally don't like 2 people rolling for the same thing. So I'll let you guys choose who wants to roll for it.
You want to roll to I already did?
He's mostly a muscle guy, so I don't have much to help me, but I'm sure I can take the role.
I would like to give Dino an experience point in case he needs
it. He's the task. Okay.
He's the. Oh, well, because I'm just going to give him the experience.
So he has the experience.
And then if he wants to use it.
All right, yeah. Generally, when I do an intrusion, you should be picking who you're giving the experience point when the intrusion happens.
Okay.
This is perfectly fine though. So, Dino, you do have a single experience point if you need to re-roll or something like that. No.
Okay. So this is one where I'd be making an intellect roll, and I could use.
It's actually just a for this, depending on what you want to do or how you want to do this, it could be an intellect roll. I would say if you are just breaking a window and going in, I would say that's a little bit more of a might roll kind of thing.
Because I just, he's just gonna pull the breaker outside the house without anybody noticing, and then I break in.
Well, I'm presuming you're
Yeah.
waiting. I'm presuming you're waiting for the signal from me to tell you the Wi-Fi is down.
Yeah, do you want me to roll for
Yeah.
taking the power out?
Well, let's start with that then. Yeah, so we'll go. It'll be an intellect based task for you if you want to apply any effort to it. Otherwise, again, the only time it really matters what kind of roll you're making is if you're going to apply effort to it or not. So
No. How the effort again?
basically, you burn 3 points from one of your pools, and it eases the difficulty by 1 step. So there's a difficulty 3, it would turn to difficulty 2.
Yeah, I'll apply effort.
Okay.
I don't know if I can help on this. After spending a day with you once per day, each of your friends can decrease the difficulty of a single task by 1 step. Enabler.
Yeah. If you want to use that, you will. This will be your daily use, Dawson. This would be your daily use of easing a task. That
Yes,
would
I
turn
know.
this into a difficulty 1 task.
I understand. I figured, but also this is a one shot. We need to.
So you're looking for a 3 or higher. 18. That's great. So yeah, you're able to kind of figure it out. You're able to find the power, and you just. Dino, when you're at the front of the house, you just watch as the porch light just goes off.
All right.
And the Wi-Fi is gone after a couple seconds because it takes time for it to refresh. But
I just text thumbs up. Just a thumbs up emoji.
So if this is a might roll, I'm spending the 3 to lower it by 1, which makes it a difficulty 2. Right.
Yep. So a 6 or higher is what you're looking for.
I'm looking at an 8.
8. That does it. So you sit there, and you're as quiet as you possibly can. You reach in, you unlock the door. You hear no alarms or anything like that. There's nothing going on at the house whatsoever. The bugs themselves are wired into the power of the house so that they don't have to be changed. So the bugs have turned off as well.
Oh no.
But you are officially in a hallway right now. When you come in, you're in a kind of a pretty straight hallway. You can see there's a door to the right that goes, you assume goes into the garage. There's a door in front of you. And then the hallway turns to the left from where you are. And you can't see around the corner yet. I'll say all of you have, on your phones, you have lights if you want to use them.
I never had prayer for me to go with you after you broke in.
Yeah, so Dino is going to be cat stepping as he goes to the hallway, and I'm going to, slice the pie as I go through a door, and I give my hand the hand signal for Dawson to slowly creep behind me.
Alright.
All right, so Dawson and Dino are in. As you explore a little bit more, the hallway that you're in, you can see as it turns, there's another doorway that goes into what you're assuming is the office. When you get to the corner, you turn to the left. There's immediately a door there, and then there's stairs that go up, and then another doorway to the right that leads to whatever is in the back half of the house.
So am I looking at a bachelor pad, a well-kept place?
The hallway itself is relatively barren, but there's like little tables and things like that with like it looks like a furnished house, like you might see in a magazine or something like that. It looks You don't notice signs of people living here, like there aren't
Oh.
letters stacked on desk or anything like that. It's clean.
Okay, so when I come to the first room, am I seeing there's no Todd, is there? Or Tom?
You're there. As far as you can tell, there's no one in the house. You haven't heard any movement. You haven't seen any movement.
Right. I'm going upstairs. And I give Dawson the like, I'm going up.
Okay. While you guys go in, Walter and Quentin, you guys are technically outside looking at this. Did you want to follow them in? Do you want to stay outside? What would you like?
I would
to do?
imagine at some point we were like, I think we're monitoring the thing. If I haven't seen like any traffic or anything, I'm checking about how long have they been in there.
Moment. At this point, a few minutes.
Okay, it's like I kind of saddle up to Quentin, like totally like I've never done anything like this. Are we supposed to wait here? Should we be going in?
I don't know.
Okay.
I
While this
don't-
conversation is happening, Dino, as you get upstairs, you notice 2 rooms on the right, 1 room on the left. As you go a little bit further, you can see it opens up into kind of like a family room. I have a description of that.
No, I think what I went in, I would attack like a refrigerator and see if there was any food or anything.
Okay. I'll get to that in a second. When you get to the kind of family room area on the upper floor, it looks like it once held a painter's studio. You can see kind of like splash paint in certain places and a few bare canvases, but that's about it. And then you can also see another 2 doors on the south side of the room that you would assume go into. One of them has to be a bathroom since you haven't seen one up here yet. The other one you think is probably a closet just because of how much space is available for it.
Well, Dino wants to be efficient, so he wants to go to the first door on the left and check
Okay.
to make sure there's no one in there.
All right.
And then he's going to do the same for the other 2 doors.
Okay. So
All
while you're
right.
searching through those, we'll come back to you in just a second. Dawson, as you go through one of the other doors, do you want to go through the left door or the right door?
Well,
Left. Okay. You come into what looks like a combination like living room, dining room. There's a comfortable couch, couple chairs, a TV with what looks like cable and bookshelves that cover the walls. And then you can see another kind of just swinging like restaurant style to the doorway, and you can see through a little crack that's where the kitchen is. And walking into the kitchen, there's nothing really in the fridge. Like there's like some sodas and some water, but there's nothing perishable in the fridge. And the freezer, you can see a couple frozen dinners that look like they've been in there for a while.
alright, so everything is gonna be here now.
Hook a pair of snowballs to the freezer.
You have found nothing that would indicate recent use of anything.
Alright. So then I would go back to the living room and all the books out.
Yepers, and we'll come
I
back.
would want to
Okay.
see my books.
All right, so we'll come back to you
Yeah.
looking through the books in a second. Walter and Quentin, now 10 minutes have passed. Nothing's happened on the block.
Okay.
We should go in.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to because I need to see if anything strange is going over there. I think I gotta get a little bit closer to tell.
Let's go head over there.
Like, okay, I think you go first, and then Quentin's like, And then he like 1, 2, 3, and then he runs.
Dino, quick question for you. Did you leave the front door unlocked?
I did.
Okay.
I left it unlocked and actually left it ajar by an inch.
Okay. Soon you guys get there, the door's already ajar. I would assume. Well, I guess I can ask.
Well, Dawson came in after me.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. So, Dawson, did you leave the door open?
Yeah, I would have
Did either of you guys clean up the glass on the floor?
probably not.
Okay, cool. So you guys come in. There's still broken glass on the floor. The door is partially open.
I will.
That's on a side or outside or the back where the glass was broken.
I'm working under the assumption they went through the front door.
It was the frosted glass on the
Yep.
beside the door, right?
Yep. So it's the front door is where they went. The broken glass is on the inside of the house.
I will close the door
Okay.
once
Yeah,
Quentin gets inside.
Yeah.
And then try to clean up the glass a little bit
Okay.
and try to make it less obvious that breaking and or entering has happened.
Again, not a huge problem. Dino, back to you on the upper floor. Going through the first bedroom on the left, it's a bedroom with nothing in it. There's like a vacuum against one of the walls. It's got a double door closet. You go through the next room on the left. It's another empty bedroom. This one it's empty except for a light.
Right. Dino's getting faster and faster as he starts to realize. It's
As you kind of work your way around, you find a bathroom, you find a closet, and then you find the master bedroom, which actually has shit in it.
I have a question.
Sure.
I don't know like if this will be quick enough or not. Do I have access to my special abilities yet? Sense something strange is what I'm inquiring about.
As long as it's not one of your focus abilities. So anything that on your specific it'll say focus, and then
It's under special abilities.
That you do have access to.
Yes, sense something strange. You can sense whether a creature of an alternative recursion, creature of strange ciphers, or other related phenomena are active in situations where their presence is not obvious. You must study an object or location closely for a minute to get a feel for the situation.
Okay.
So I didn't know if maybe if I got closer, because considering what I was given into and how I started looking into things, and that's how you state.
From the way that the ability is written, this is an active thing that you need to do. You have to pick something and study it for a minute, or study a location for a minute.
Yeah.
So if you want to do that, you can.
Okay.
I'm going to say with how it's specifically it's worded. You're not going to be able to tell if there's anything strange related in the entire house just from a single roll. I would say almost a room by room basis would be required to check everything in a single room. But
Well, I was working on the basis of if we get inside and we quick confer and this place looks relatively no crap, and then we get directed to where you guys actually see stuff.
As far as you can tell right now, there's nothing out of the ordinary. That you're not getting any strange feelings or anything right now. Again, if you find something while you guys are going and you want to investigate it using that ability, you can be a little bit more certain.
Okay.
As of right now, you're not getting heebie-jeebies or anything.
Okay.
Going back to Dino. The master bedroom features a king-size bed, a couple of nightstands, and an attached master bathroom and a walk-in closet.
all right.
And there's also a piece of art on the wall that is an artistic rendition of a fractal scape, obviously inspired by mathematical chaos theory. It does have the art itself actually has a label underneath it, like you would see it like maybe a gallery or something, and it appears the title of the piece is called Resonance Island in the Strange, and the art is signed by the master.
All right. So after Dino has checked the room and then the bathroom and then the walk-in closet and realized that there is no Tom here, the
I will say, as you look in the walk-in closet, you do find there's a leather trench coat in there, and then a lot of shoes on a huge rack.
right trench coat. The so yeah, I'm just gonna end up calling down to the team downstairs. Like we've been had.
Okay.
Ah! Oh, gee.
While that's going on, Dawson, as you're looking through the books, um, uh, you find a particular book that you find interesting. It's labeled "A Player's Guide to Arden, Land of the Curse," and it's a thick book, apparently produced for a computer game that never made it to market. As you kind of look through it, all the stuff that is written in there sounds remarkably similar to things that have been described to you during your training at the estate of the actual recursion of Arden.
I will take a book.
And I'll say from reading it, you have an asset for tasks related to Arden lore for the next hour. So,
I am.
and at this point, you hear Dino say, "We've been had."
I just go up to him. It's like, how we find this place is almost empty. Have you found anything?
Right. Dino, like whatever closest object to him, he just smashes with his hand. It's like, oh, you found shit.
You found you say like, where has you been?
There
Like,
is now a Funko Pop that no longer has a head.
oh, I didn't have that one. Okay. You can only
Poor
get
baby
the,
Grogu.
you can only get the grog at the convention. Oh God. Okay. Like he says, like the coats and a bunch of like that would seem to say really out of place to me. Like a place that's virtually empty and there's a long coat and a bunch of shoes.
To read directly from how they describe it here, a leather trench coat and a lot of shoes in a huge rack. So yeah, that would, for me personally, that would be an odd thing to find.
Are they various? Is that literally that's all the description? There's not like, are they well worn? Is he sneakerhead?
From what it says here, there's just a lot of different shoes and then a single trench coat.
I'd grab the trench coat and it's like I like being semi-aware of some of this. I'm being through a lot of tests with the estate. I kind of just
the trench coat jingles a bit.
I examine where the jingling's coming from.
And you find a keyring with 4 keys. I should also point out. One of the other doors. There's a door that leads to the basement. So there's in the original hallway you guys got in. One of the door right next to the garage has stairs that goes down to the basement. So you guys found that.
Are they regular keys or are they like on a keychain or like?
They're in a keychain. They're not labeled.
Like this.
Yeah, effectively, yeah.
Okay, like ye old key or something.
Foot long bronze.
Well, he's going to a fantastical realm.
Yeah. These look like just traditional house kind of keys. You know, your standard whatever kind of tumbler lock system.
Oh, but I am aware of translation. Like items translate differently to other realms, right?
Yes.
It's like
so something in an Earth recursion, if it translated to another recursion, might appear slightly different. Ciphers specifically have been known to change shapes and entire sizes and everything because of the delicate nature of ciphers in general.
Well, I mean, might as well it might be different somewhere else. Where if he's going somewhere, am I getting any kind of a sense something strange with the coat?
With the coat, no. But again, it does have specifically 4 keys on it.
I think we should check out the basement.
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
go out by them. And I will tell them I found a book about that, talk about all the things. And then would I see the painting?
If you went upstairs, you would have seen the painting.
I will look through the book and see it, but it is similar to that title or what was it?
There's nothing in the book that would resemble the painting itself. A fractal scape. Basically, do you know what a fractal is? It's a picture made by math, to be blunt.
Oh,
They're circular and they're really, really pretty and interesting, but they're very mathematical. So it's
kind of like a
it's
kaleidoscope.
Kind of, yeah,
geometric
very
pattern.
similar. It's geometric patterns and shapes and things like that. So it's very obviously mathematically inspired art. If you've ever seen stuff like that, cubism kind of stuff. So that being said, yeah, snowflakes are fractals. There we go.
Yeah.
Snowflakes are fractals. So, anything else you guys want to do?
Dino is, frustrated and be like, we got to figure out some clues where this guy went to.
yeah.
And he's going to start rooting through. There's got to be something with this picture.
Okay.
So I'm rooting through for any kind of weird clues or.
The picture itself doesn't really give you much anything. As you take it off the wall, it's hung with a regular picture.
Something's making the noise. That's what I was going to say. Sorry. Yeah.
I presume did the sound stop when the power got knocked out?
The bugs stopped because they were wired into the power.
Well, I mean, what when we're in now that we're in the house, I mean.
You don't
Do I hear
any
somebody
sounds.
peeing right now?
You don't hear any sounds or anything.
Well, he's probably going to if he translate. I mean, we don't hear the sounds now, so if we check the basement and if he's doing something.
Well, actually, I'll say, because I just read this, you guys would probably hear some noise coming from the office.
I will go and investigate.
Okay.
Yeah, so will I.
As
Wait.
you
Sorry.
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think we know he didn't translate. Well, we know that he hasn't translated recently because that's something that takes time, right? We would have heard him trying to translate, right?
So normally, translation requires a trance, and a regular translation trance without any aid or anything like that can take hours to do.
Yeah. So based on our surveillance, even if it was just sound surveillance, we would kind of know that he didn't
you would have heard a translation.
Was he translated before we set up?
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I think, there's not a
Right.
chance that he is
Yeah.
translating nightly and we just happen to be there the night he is not there,
As you go into the office, you can see a tablet on the desk, which looks like it's connected to a power supply, but since it's getting no power, it's now just operating on battery, and you can see it's playing a track of sounds.
Gonna kick over a stack of books. Damn you, Bueller!
Son of a bitch.
You.
He must have maybe wired it through the sound system in the house. I didn't see any speaker. How that managed to go through the. I'll take a quick look at the laptop. This is
Oh, it's just a tablet.
my bailiwick. Oh, just a tablet.
Yeah, just a tablet.
This is even a simpler setup. Like I think this, like there should be. I know what like a tablet's even simpler version. There's not a ton of stuff I could pull off of a tablet. I would imagine.
You know that the tablet itself has nothing on it. Like opening it up is not an incredibly difficult thing to do.
Like even default apps.
It's got default apps, and the only thing that has been running for as long as you can tell is the sound player, which plays this very long repeating file. And that's it. Like there's literally nothing else on this tablet, and it's a pretty, like, this is not an iPad. This is, you know, one of those like $40 tablets that
A bargain
find
you
at
get for signing up for a
Spencer's.
phone.
Yeah.
Okay, well, damn it. Okay, well, it sounds like.
Looking around, you guys do find the bug that was planted in the house, which is underneath the desk here.
Okay, so the bug's still where it should be. It's not like
Yes.
next to the tablet or anything. Okay.
Yeah, the bugs where it's supposed to.
I literally saw. I'm sorry, a little slight tangent. I saw a movie once where the guy found the bug and he did this. It was just like some dude on the other end just are.
I think we've been found out. So yeah, going back to Dino, like I said, taking the picture doesn't really do anything. There's just not a lot to that. Is there anything else? Like again, the bedroom itself, you have the king size bed. There's a pair of nightstands, with drawers and stuff, and then you have the walk-in closet.
Yeah.
And the bathroom.
I'm gonna be rummaging through things,
Okay.
you know, B&E style, like pull the whole drawer out
Sure.
and looking for.
Yeah.
One of the
Address
nightstands, when
books.
you like pull it out, you immediately realize there's something relatively heavy in it, and as you kind of pull it out, you see a 9mm drop to the ground along with a magazine with ammo in it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna put that in the back of my belt for later, even though I don't really need guns. I don't want this guy to get it
Yeah.
back.
And then when you go to the other drawer, you actually find 2 ciphers. One is you instantly recognize one of them is a little blue pill, and you instantly recognize that this is not a regular drug, because it seems to kind of shine and almost just feel wrong. And from your estate training, you know this is a cipher. Specifically, it is a level 4 curative. So this is a cipher that if you use it, you will regain 4 points of might if you were to get it, or if you were to take it. And then the other thing you find in there is
A red pill.
what looks like a strange looking, kind of grenade looking thing. You're not exactly sure what it does, but this is not your standard run of the mill grenade or something like that. Like, this looks a little bit more improvised, but it is obviously a cipher. And is obviously an explosive device, but you're not exactly sure. Knowing ciphers, there's a lot of different things explosive devices can do, so you're not 100% certain what will happen when this explodes, but you know there will be an explosion.
Just for the trouble of us having to be on this assignment for so long,
Mhm.
I'm taking these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, with how strange ciphers are, you can actually only hold a set number of ciphers before your own the mental strain of holding these kind of strange items on you actually starts to affect you. So on your character sheets, it'll actually tell you on the right-hand side, it'll tell you how many ciphers you can have at any given time. So I believe everyone except one of you can have 2 ciphers. I think Quentin, you might be able to hold 3. Yeah. So for right now, Dino, you have as many ciphers as you can hold currently.
Kind of like attunement means radiation.
Kind of, yeah. Ciphers are meant to be one-time use items, and you tend to find them fairly often in the cipher system games in general. Just treat them as like single-use abilities, if that makes sense. All right, so
Okay, so are we checking out the basement?
Yeah, we get to the basement and get our before the police come.
Yeah. No sirens.
Yeah, I can't go back to jail again.
Again.
um,
Come on, kid.
sorry, I was reading something. What are you guys doing now?
Well,
Basement.
you know, making sure we get to the basement and get out of there before the cops show up.
Yeah.
And
Makes
then,
sense. All right, so you guys all head to the basement, and as you are walking down the basements, the stairs go and flatten, and you all start falling.
Scooby-Doo style,
Like, yeah,
like they turn into a slide, is what you're saying?
effectively. I need the first.
How
3
many
people.
times does the animation repeat?
So, here's a question for you guys: the first 3 people on the stairs. So, I need a marching order. Who is
I'm-
first, second, third?
I'm being completely honest. I think I would have been first because I had keys
Okay,
in case I needed to unlock.
sure. So we got Quentin.
So
I-
Quentin probably first.
I probably would have been right behind him.
Okay, Walter, and then Dino or Steve, or not Dino or Steve. How about Dino or Dawson?
I would have been so okay. So
Alright.
I said that.
I need. You can choose either speed or might defense rolls from all of you.
So okay.
I'm gonna say speed because that's higher for me.
Okay.
I have 1 point higher in speed. I'll go with speed.
And I am trained in speed defense, so
So we'll start with. Let's start with Walter. What do you got?
15.
15. You make your defense roll. Quentin,
I rolled a 17.
17. You make it. Dawson,
so I am trained in it. Does that do anything?
it reduces the difficulty by 1 step, so you need a lower number.
13.
13. Okay. All of you make your. All of you guys make your saves. So what happens is, as you start going, you start heading, and as you're kind of falling down, you guys notice that the wall in front of you looks different. And Quentin, as you impact it, you watch the wall start to move, and you start seeing sharp things coming out from the wall. And you instantly kind of torque yourself out of the way, and all 3 of you land in kind of a heaped mess on the floor. Dino, you see them all do this from the top of the stairs.
I'm gonna call out. It's like, tell me your situation.
Fuck you! As a situation, get off me!
Well, he's good.
We're fine. We avoided running into the stabby spikes.
You're fine. You're on me. Get off!
It actually could have been a much worse landing.
Yeah,
Thanks.
really.
I'm getting too old for this. Yeah, just take your time down the slide. Watch out for the spikes at the end.
Yeah.
This guy.
But Dino's gonna like surf down the slide, and before he gets like 2 feet before the bottom, literally hops off.
Okay. So you don't have too much difficulty getting down. as you guys look around, basement room is full of holiday decorations, boxes of old clothing, a variety of partially broken chairs and other small furnishings, and shelves of pickled vegetables of every sort. And there is a large wardrobe that stands against the wall.
Pickled. Are we still in a normal house?
Pickling is a normal thing to do. Maybe not pickling in your basement, but
Well, no. Pickling actually would be one of the places you put stuff. It's like in regard to where we were, in regards to like next to no living in versus that. This look like this is where he's been living.
it doesn't look like anyone's been living here. This place looks like it looks. This is the one place in that looks kind of normal to you. Like nowhere else in this place looks lived in. This looks like I mean, old Christmas decorations and like
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
of you might have a basement that looks like this at home.
Yeah, including the murder slide.
Well, maybe not the murder slide. Murder slide's
Well,
just extra.
That's a great deterrent when you're trying
Was
to
that
keep
an
kids away from the
addition?
Christmas presents.
That come with the house 4 years ago.
I would like to
I
find.
believe that's probably what added that 20% appreciation.
Oh,
Is the murder strips.
That and the original crown molding.
Yeah, definitely.
I would like to find a bottle of gherkins.
There is a bottle of gherkins. As you bite into it, you immediately involuntarily spit it out. It was
Did you
not
ch-
sealed correctly and has
Oh.
spoiled.
I will.
When you
I-
expected the gherkin to kind of, gherkins have that little crunch to
Yeah.
them, it
Yeah.
mushed
I
and was
I-
rancid.
I spit it back out into the bottle, stick the pickle in, and then close it properly and set it back on the shelf.
Dino walks by and give him this dead eye, like, stop messing around. We got to find this guy.
I look at like, does the trap look like it's like, did he just take like rando knives and they're like on a spring-loaded thing and they?
Basically, the way the trap works is the wall depresses, but the spikes don't. So they will actually pierce through the wall. So the further you push the wall in, the further out the spikes come.
Oh.
So the spikes are technically end just before the wall is. It's just when the wall is pushed forward, the wall goes and the spikes don't. Does that make sense?
Well, are they just like? Oh, so they're just spikes. Are they like very uniform, or they look like they're just you grab random shit and
Like a knife wrapped around a broom handle.
No,
duct,
these are
duct taping.
These are uniform.
This is okay. That's disturbing.
So this is a professional murder slide, not
These are
like
profession-
some DIY.
Well, with how
There
uniform
was
everything is,
effort.
this may have been something he got at Murder R Us,
Oh.
but it's one of the higher quality ones. Like this isn't the Murder R Us brand. This is like name brand Murder.
It's not Murder Home. It's
Yeah.
Murder Home versus Murder R Us.
Yeah.
I say we check out the wardrobe.
Yeah.
I would like to open the wardrobe and then
As you
here
go
inside.
to the wardrobe, it's locked.
Yeah, if only we had some keys. Ah.
Doesn't take too long to figure out which key fits in the wardrobe. As you open it up, you immediately hear, "Ah!" and this thing wrapped in strips of cloth and everything reaches out, and I need everyone to go ahead and make me an initiative roll.
Okay.
Are we using one of the three?
what's
Initiative
in
is
this?
a speed-based roll. However, I have to remember. I know the regular way it works is playing the game. Is there a combat thing? I thought there was. Encounters rounds and initiative. Okay. Sorry. Again, still learning this.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing initiative in my player's handbook.
It's there. I just have to remember where.
Doesn't have something to do with the
It's a
difficulty
speed-
of the NPC level.
It's a speed based thing. I think you guys roll, and then if you roll higher than the NPC's difficulty, then you will go first, and if you roll lower, you will go after them. And
Ah.
if you have some sort of asset for it, it just means that it's easier for you to roll higher than them, if that makes sense. So, come on, take me back. Take me home to the go. All right.
All right. So, if I get this right, so this is the thing where the opponents are a level, and then that's like a set number, and then that's like the set number that we're always rolling against, and that's why you don't ever roll.
Yes. So the way that combat is going to work, I'll kind of do this as we play it. So right now we're just going to start with everyone give me an initiative roll, and we will get an initiative order, and then we will go from there, just to make things as simple as possible.
Dino gets a 13.
If you give me just 1 second so I can set up my tracker so I have names on it, because that's remarkably useful. Okay, so Dino, you said you got a 13?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Walter?
15.
15. Quentin?
7.
7. And Dawson?
I rolled a 5. I am 20 for whatever.
You got. And then. Cool. So, I'm going to see tie goes to Walter. Walter, in a split second, you see this thing just kind of come out. It is obviously humanoid. It is wrapped in bandages, and it looks terrifying. What do you want to do?
I regret putting.
Now we get into combat. Basically, every round of combat, every character gets a single action. Part of your action is you can move what's called an immediate distance. There's 3 distances you'll deal with. You have immediate, short, and long distances. An immediate distance is anything within, I believe it's 50 feet. So everybody in this room is in an immediate distance. As part of an action, you can move an immediate distance. And then an action is things like making an attack, just anything you could think of as being an action. And depending on what you want to do, I will have you make a roll contested by, sometimes if you're attacking the monster, there's a number you have to meet. If you're doing other things, I will pick a difficulty task, and then we can apply assets and things like that to change the number. But it's still always just going to be whatever you're rolling on your D20.
Okay.
So you have a single action that can involve moving as much as you want in this area and doing something. So what would you like to do?
I would like to run back to where I put that gherkin bottle,
Okay.
pick that up, and throw it at this thing.
Okay. We're going to call that a light weapon. That you are unfortunately not. You are not proficient in. I can't remember. Practice. There we go. They use the word practice. You are not practiced in wielding gherkin bottles. So that is going to increase the difficulty 1 step.
Okay.
Go ahead and make your roll.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this isn't my first time throwing a gherkin bottle at something, but definitely not practiced.
I was going to
so.
say, you're. It's not something you do all of it at a time.
Right.
Is the brine a medium weapon?
15.
15.
15 is my
just
roll.
enough.
Oh,
So-
botulism.
So you sit there and go, boom, and you throw it. It crashes on him. You do 2 points of damage. As he gets cut a little bit, the rest of you have to kind of hold back gags as the just noxious fumes of the rotted gherkins are now emanating from this creature.
Is the creature gagging?
The creature is screaming.
Turns out it's one of his victims, and we're just beating up on him.
The creature turns to the one that is closest to it, River, right now, which is going to be Quentin, because you're the one that unlocked it.
I have the keys. Yeah.
And I need you can actually choose a might or speed defense. And again, the only real difference here is if you're trained in either of those two things, that'll change the difficulty. Or if you want to spend effort.
Now, and if I just, I presume that means an edge if it means I'm trained, right?
No, edge means that if you try to do something using points from a pool that you have edge score in, you subtract whatever your edge is from the amount. So let's say you have an edge of 1 in your speed pool. If
I'm saying I don't know if I'm trained in speed.
No, it would say in your skills, the way I made your character shape, it would say speed defense and it would say trained. So no, then it's just if you wanted to apply effort. If you did a speed defense, quote unquote, you would be dodging it. If you do a might defense, you are just blocking it. That's the only real difference. So
Quentin would want to get the hell away from it, so I'm guessing speed.
Okay. So, and again, for combat, we want to be a little bit more kind of descriptive in what it is. So instead of him just making an attack, like the dumb GM that I am, I'm going to say after getting the glass on him, you see him just kind of pull some of the glass out, ripping even larger holes in the bandaged skin that he has, revealing somewhat human-looking but scarred skin underneath. He goes and he lunges towards Quentin, trying to bite him.
Quentin's speed defense is basically just going, no. he's flailing. Quentin is not battle ready. He's not like closest. Like maybe he's watched Walking Dead. Walking Dead, like no, just he's trying not to get bitten.
Go ahead and make me a defense roll. So nice to not have to roll anything.
And of course, rolled a 14.
14. And you said you were not trained, correct?
Not trained.
That's fine. So, and I forgot about armor. All right, well, we'll deal with armor later.
If that does matter, I have a trench coat with a liner.
He missed, so or you made your speed defense, so it's not going to matter with you. The way armor works in this game is anytime you take physical damage that doesn't say it specifically bypasses armor, any damage you take, you will subtract your armor level from it. On your character sheet toward the bottom of the first page, next to your equipment, there should be a circle next to it that says armor. And if you have armor, there should be a 1 or a 2 or something in there. I will say if you are wearing light armor, for every hour that you wear the armor, your might pool goes down by 1. And your speed pool is, as long as you are wearing the armor, is 2 points less. I
have armor 1.
Okay. You're a vector, right? You're
paradox.
You're a paradox. Oh yeah. So your speed pool is 2 points lower if you're wearing that armor. You don't have to be wearing the armor if you don't want to. The armor. Well,
I don't know if it actually is armor because it's a trench. Like I don't get that kind of laggy having a trench coat in real life, so I don't know if that does anything.
Well, it's a heavy trench coat with a liner, so that is what is considered light armor. So if you're wearing your trench coat with armor, then you would. I'd have to look at your character sheet. Let's ignore that for right now. There are rules for that. We'll deal with it later, because you guys haven't been wearing it for an hour yet, so it doesn't matter. So the mummy reaches for you, and you just no. And you kind of slap it out of the way, and it kind of misses. And
it's like I want to hit him, but at the same time, I don't want him biting me. So I'm like.
After that goes to Dino. Dino, what do you like to do?
All right, Dino has his 2 nightsticks, behind him. Okay. He's going to pull those 2 out, and he's going to swiftly and expertly move in between the mummy and his partners.
Okay.
Because I have that ability that says I can do the 2 attacks using 1 action.
That is under focus, right?
Yeah.
So
as of
right now, you don't have your focuses yet, your foci, to use the math term. So that you can't do yet, but you do still have your two sticks, and you can go in and definitely make your 1 attack at least.
he's gonna go in and he's gonna do a basically like a jab in the torso area to
Okay.
try and which is used to disable people.
Sure. Yes. You just boom, try and strike him in the stomach as hard as you can.
Right.
I will
And
say
so-
if you're willing to increase the difficulty by 1 step for this, I will give all of your friends an asset to their defense rolls against this because you are physically putting yourself in the way.
Okay. If that's the case, then what I want to do is I want to spend might again to reduce the difficulty.
Sure. Sure.
So to balance that out.
Yep. That's works perfectly.
Right.
That's
And
exactly
because
what you're
it's
supposed to do.
I've got 1 edge, that means it costs me 2 to do it.
Yes, it would only cost you 2.
All right. So I'm rolling the dice now.
Go for it.
4. Oh,
Now, you currently have 1 experience point. I'm going to
I'm gonna
say
use it.
what I just described is a GM intrusion. So that would give you another experience point, and you need to give an experience point to somebody else.
I'm gonna give 1 to Quentin because he's the
I
one
already
that.
have 2.
Oh, he's already got 2.
He got 2 for having a cool idea. So
Got it. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give it to Dawson then,
okay,
because
and then if you
Yeah.
want to burn a single experience point, you can reroll.
that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna burn the 1,
Okay.
and then the other one's gonna go to Dawson.
And
10. That's not much better.
Okay. I will say, since you still have another experience point, if you want to burn another one on a reroll, you can. There's no limitation. It'll just be you'll be out of experience points.
All right, here we go. 3rd time's the charm. All right, we're at 3. So we'll
Okay. So unfortunately, you fail your attack roll. So as you go in to try and hit him, you're not able to find purchase. As you sit there and you try to hit his stomach where you know it should be, as you hit it, you hit air, which doesn't make a ton of sense to you until you realize this, whatever this creature is severely emaciated. So you aimed for where you thought the solar plexus would be, but because he's missing significant amounts of muscle and fat, you just barely missed where the solar plexus should have been.
Yeah, his innards are in a canopic jar somewhere.
So
it was in that bottle. It was,
yeah, it was
the
the
thing.
gherkins. Going to Quentin. You're up now. What do you wanted to do?
Well, the interesting thing, if I have my equipment and I'm just be like, I see Dino hitting him, just like, oh, hell no. No. And I'm reaching in there and I'm just like, because you don't have like a ton of weapons, I do have a hammer. And so like
I
I'm
believe you
figuring
should have some sort of weapon on you.
I have a whip.
Oh yeah, I get it. Just because I like whips, I didn't think about it. I'm just like, give him a whip. That's cool.
In all
Nobody's
honesty,
got a whip.
I think what happened was no, it was like like through the various testing and all that stuff, and then like they were training us, and they said like, okay, cool. So what do I get? I get like a sword or like a knife with like knuckles or like, and it's like, here you go.
So
Give me fedora too.
You are practiced in light weapons, so you can use the whip as a weapon if you would like. However,
just be like-
this is your character. Do whatever you
Yeah,
want.
fair. So it's to be like, I pull this out and just like, I cannot goddamn believe this, and I'm just like, I think I will take the prerequisite distance back because a whip actually you should have like a little bit of distance to use this thing. Because these things are hella dangerous, really.
It's a
And I'm
really
just like-
great way to hurt yourself. They're almost
Yeah.
as good at beating yourself up as nunchucks are. Which nunchucks I have personal experience and
Indiana-
uses.
Indiana Jones in the Search of the Holy Grail.
Last Crusade.
Last Crusade. He whipped like, yeah, that's actually a real common injury.
Fun fact while you're making your roll, the reason they did that is Harrison Ford
Had a
got
cut.
into an accident and he had a scar, and they had to explain it on
That's
camera.
cocked.
So they just
That's
went,
cocked.
oh, we'll do that.
Hit
Nice.
the corner.
Which is why Indiana Jones his scar magically appeared by the Last Crusade.
I'm going to use an experience point to re-roll that. Okay, I rolled a 14.
14. 14's
I
good.
have light whip. I believe I've just I'm not trained, but I have it.
You are practiced in them, which means
Practice in light weapons.
if you try to do something with a weapon that you are not practiced in, it increases the difficulty by 1. Practice just
Yeah.
means you can use them. So that does hit. So you sit there and you take your whip out. Dino, as you're sitting there and you've just kind of whiffed and you've just realized how little of a creature is left here, you suddenly feel kind of a breeze go past you, and then right next to your ear, this very loud crack happens as you watch as parts of the mummy is like ripped away as the sonic boom from the end of the whip just rips off chunks of his flesh and kind of splash you a little bit with emaciated flesh and blood.
Cool. I was aiming for his chest.
Creature takes another 2 damage. And that ends that. We go up to Dawson. What are you doing, Dawson?
Alright, so as Quentin using his weapon, set a bumpy on fire, I am trying to block in the sunset. And then I move it and I'm my hunting knife with it was a big like Bowie type knife.
Okay.
And also with the trying to like slice like the mummy arm slice the head off.
Sure. I'm gonna say trying to disable in that particular way is going to increase the difficulty. If you're trying to specifically cut something off, that's going to increase the difficulty 2 steps, because that's you're cutting through tendon and bones. That would be kind of hard.
Alright.
Okay.
And then so I use after earlier can I do spend points to roll
Yeah, so
it?
effort, your maximum effort is per roll, effectively.
Oh, okay.
So you can only right now you can only apply 1 effort maximum to a single roll, but you can apply effort until you no longer have points.
Alright. Alright. So is it 3 point, right?
Normally, effort is 3 points. If you have an edge in whatever pool you're taking it from, that would be only 2 points then.
Alright. So I will do that.
All right. So go ahead and make your attack roll. That means it was increased 2 levels. You reduced it 1. So this is going to be a difficulty 5 for you.
17.
17 is good. So as you go there and you just sit there and you go, and you bring this big old Bowie knife as you hit the very emaciated wrist of this creature. You sit there and you start slicing, and it is really tough to get through his skin. Like his skin is like leather armor almost, with just how much how thick and tough it is. But you are able to kind of force through and shink, and the hand falls on the ground. I'll say defense tasks against this creature are eased an additional level. So everyone but Dino has it eased because Dino is protecting you, and then everybody has it eased another level because it's missing a hand. Very interesting, very cool. I like it. That being said, we go back up to Walter.
All right. Is this thing looking
How
more rough
much?
than it was?
That was a light weapon, right? So that does 2 damage. It's looking like it's missing a hand. It's bleeding like it's alive. So I mean,
It's bleeding?
it's bleeding.
I will pick up another bottle.
Okay. There are no
preferably
more
dill.
gherkins.
I was gonna say maybe a nice dill pickle,
Okay.
some dill pickles, and I will ready my action. that a thing?
I think Quentin's screaming, "Go for the head! Go for the
Technically,
head!"
no, but what do you want to do?
What I want to do is I want to like hold it up and be like, stop. We're not here. We did not come down here to hurt you. If you are a person, just stop.
Okay.
Before
I'll go ahead and make me. This will be an intellect roll to see if
Okay.
you can try and get through to this guy. I'm gonna say it's
can I
going to be a little bit difficult.
I want to focus on this.
Okay.
So I think that'll be. I have one edge in that, so I will
All right.
spend 2 points, and I'm gonna focus on him, and be like, just stop before we have to do something
Okay.
we're gonna regret.
Yeah, like
And I-
taking your hand.
And I rolled an 18.
Rolled an 18. Okay. So as he's sitting there and he's like, ah, and he looks at you, you're like, stop, and everyone just kind of stops, and you're sitting there, why?
Oh God, he can talk. Oh God.
Why? And he just kind of raises his stump towards you. Why?
We didn't expect to find somebody bandaged jumping out of a wardrobe.
And you attacked us.
My bad.
And he picks up the hand and he just starts kind of pushing it onto the stump. He takes some of the bandage and kind of ties it there at a really weird angle.
Does the hand start moving again?
What did you say?
Does the hand start moving again?
Nope.
Okay, I was like,
it is severed.
okay.
As everything starts to calm down, you guys realize the reason his skin is so callous in that is it is heavily scarred. And the reason he is so emaciated is it looks like he has most definitely been through a torturous experience. But he is 100% human.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
Calm down, Quentin. Just. Who are you?
He's having a really hard time communicating. He doesn't seem to remember his name.
I think we should call in.
Check the closet. See if there's anything else in the wardrobe. The wardrobe.
To kind of speed things along, since it's getting a little bit late for me.
Yeah.
Throughout your interactions with him, he is human. He is from Earth. Doesn't know his name anymore. He's been here for a while. And that's all you get from him. He has no memory of before he was in here, but he recognizes the things that just obviously place him as someone from Earth.
Quentin's got his phone out. He's like, "Oh, fuck this," and I'm just like, I'm calling the number. I'm sure they would have given us.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm wondering if our bosses have resources to deal with this.
Yeah.
Due to the fact that interaction with this is strange, for non-Quicken people can cause like mental breaks and things like that. Psychological services are kind of the package deal for the estate.
Do they do limb reattachment?
That might be a little bit more difficult, but if it's a clean cut, there's a good chance they can put it back on. It's going to require
Dino-
more than tying it on.
Yeah, Dino's not exactly like a medical expert, but he's whatever knowledge he has, he's helping this gentleman.
Yeah, you would have had field field dressing bare minimum. So you would know, put
Try
the
to-
hand on ice,
Yeah,
stop the bleeding.
tourniquet, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason why Quentin is not calling 911 first is one, we did a B&E. Two, they don't know what the hell that is. Like, there is no answer for this
Yeah.
that we can
Right,
explain.
right.
He's like, so the estate's like, the estate better know what the hell to do.
So
And he smells like sour pickle.
you contact your handler at the estate, and they tell you they'll have someone out there as soon as they can. They encourage you to continue your investigation and find the specific wording they use is find a way to neutralize the danger from this individual. That is all they say. You can interpret that however you want.
I think
They
he's.
say it'll
he's-
be a couple hours before they can get there.
A couple of hours? What was the game plan when we reported into you?
It's
They
budget
hung up.
cutbacks.
I'm looking in the wardrobe.
Okay. There is their wording, not mine, a bedraggled coat.
Oh,
I
Bedraggled.
don't know what that... Bedraggled. There we go. Bedraggled.
Bedraggled.
That's not a word I've ever actually seen before. I think bedraggled fits as far as the pronunciation, but bedraggled sounds better.
Toss your cares away.
I'm assuming...
Yeah, it's well used. Like
It just,
all
I know the
worn
lyric
out.
snowballed in your head, Jody.
So, I have a rule. If you can break the DM, you get a reward. Everyone take a single experience point because you broke the DM.
Huzzah.
You do find a cipher in the pocket. It is a level 6 enduring shield. So that means it is a jacket. And for a day, the wearer of the activated cipher enjoys the effects of an asset to a speed defense roll. So basically, if you the jacket itself, if you were to wear it, you would have an asset to any speed defense rolls you make for a day.
I am putting on that jacket.
All right. So, otherwise, there's nothing else in the wardrobe.
I
just come back with my fancy new coat.
I relay the information for them. Like, so apparently the clandestine operation who can don't dare 2 hours. What was the plan for a translation we were going to report or day?
Just
What are we going to do? just like it's right back into it.
we're gonna take our friend upstairs carefully. Do we find a way to reset the murder slide?
With enough time, you can.
What if he's
Because it's tripped. If you want to try and reset it, I would need an intellect roll to see if you can figure it out. But after it's trapped, like it's they're wooden stairs that are just flat. The reason you all fell is because they went chunk really quick. You can walk up and down it without too much danger.
Okay, then we'll very carefully take our friend upstairs.
Okay. Was there anything else you guys wanted to do in the basement at all? Because as of right now, they did have confirmation at one point he was in here. And translation in general is not something... Generally, translation is not something you can just do anywhere. You generally need something... you need a key to the recursion that you need. It's called a recursion key, actually. So you need a key that would actually connect you to the recursion you want to go to.
And I'm not getting that vibe from the keys I have, right?
No, that is not.
Okay. Yeah.
A recursion key is very rarely a physical key.
Yeah. It's key.
Yeah, it's just somehow linked with the thing. So, So, yeah, getting him upstairs isn't too hard. He is, again, he's mostly feral at this point. But Walter specifically has kind of learned how to interact with him enough that you're able to put him into one of the upstairs bedrooms and just get him to wait for someone.
Okay,
I'll
if he's
give him the
translating,
tablet and let him watch YouTube videos.
Cat videos are amazing.
okay, if he is translating, he has to do. If he would have done it here. If he's doing it here, he needs the cipher key. We need to know what the hell it would be. We're finding ciphers, but we're not finding a cipher key. He would take the cipher key with him to translate. I would presume is like part of that, right? Yes.
No. The key itself is an item
Oh.
in a different recursion that connects you to another one. So
So it's
you
point to
use
point.
you use it to translate, but you don't. It's not like it's not something that you take with you.
Is
It's-
there a lamp post in this basement?
No, but if you wanna search the basement a little bit, you are.
I would like to search the basement.
Same.
Sure, go
I'll do
ahead
the search the
and make,
basement. I'll search the basement too. I'll work with you.
Yeah,
Quentin does not want to stay up here with him.
I'll say with all of you guys working, I'll let Walter will make the roll, but I'll give you an asset to it because you have friends helping you out.
Okay. 18 again.
18.
I swear these are
Can't
real
find
rolls.
anything. No, you actually do find there's some water damage near one of the wall. It's obvious water is leaking in from behind this wall, and looking at it, you eventually a section of the wall actually is designed to slide away, and you see a large locked iron door.
I think it's behind there. If only we had keys.
I throw the keys at you.
Your turn. I already got bit by money.
I avoided getting bit by a mummy. Thank you very much. Your turn.
Walter picks up the keys, starts looking at them.
Then I'll
Is there-
fall on you.
Is there an iron key here?
There is one that fits, and as you open up, the chamber itself on the other side is bare. It contains several sets of manacles set into the cement walls and a piece of art set in a large wooden frame. There's some marks on the wall that indicates that there were other pieces of art that were hung up here previously that aren't anymore. The piece of art that is here, it's kind of similar to the painting in the bedroom, but this one is signed by the master and it has no title, and it is larger.
I'm sorry. Is it still fractal?
Yeah, it's still it's a fractal landscape signed by the master.
So, Walter will go to Quentin and say, "So, you ever go to the mall and you see those weird eye paintings? We have to find the sailboat.
Yeah. Schooner. But yeah. Okay.
That
Still the same movie.
Thank you. You have to find the schooner.
I'm presuming I know what you're talking. Like the door's right there, and I've looked.
Yeah. We need to. I think we need to use I think the painting is the key. We have to stare at the painting.
Quentin,
transition.
I would say once the door opened because of your special ability, you get some heebie-jeebies from the room.
Yeah, because I'm sure the manacled murder room with a painting in there was like the second thing
Specifically,
says
I'll say you're getting some strange feelings from
Yeah.
the room. If you want
That's-
to concentrate on something in the room, go ahead and make an intellect roll.
that is an 18 on the die.
Yeah. So
I have-
as you kind of study the picture,
I don't know if it happens to matter at all. I have strange lore and I have chaos sphere navigation. If that applies as well.
Chaos through navigation. No, chaos through navigation is basically a way that you can traverse the strange without a recursion key.
Well, I didn't know if that in terms of like if that would apply and since we're looking
That
for a cipher
wouldn't
key.
for this. Strange lore probably wouldn't either because this isn't a lore based of the thing.
Okay.
But you are able to figure out that the painting itself is a recursion key. You're not sure 100% where it will lead, but you know that if you wanted to right now, you guys could use it to translate.
Good news. This is a key. Bad news. We found it in a murder room.
Well, we don't know that it was murder. Just
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm mistaking the manacles on the side and a friend we just took a limb off of.
Yeah, potato. Murder, torture, potato.
Yeah.
I look down. Are there drains in this room?
There is a drain in the floor.
Hmm.
So, all right, looks like we gotta chase Mallard into this other
Yeah.
recursion.
And then do we want to go further that way?
Well, you guys have cell phones and reception data down here, so if you want to report in, you can, and you can get
Oh,
instructions.
I'm calling them back.
Yeah. So, again, to speed things along a bit, they do...
Yeah.
Yeah, hi. So this is scenario right now. This is what's happening right now. I suggest if you want to have reports about a zombie walking through the neighborhood, you can speed it up right now while we examine a cipher key. Thanks. Bye. Hang up on you for a chance.
Dino, your phone rings.
I'm eyeballing Quentin as I pick it up.
I said what I said.
What's your last name again, Dino?
Marcus.
Marcus. Mr. Marcus,
Mm-hmm.
this is Manners, is that her name?
Yeah.
I think so.
Catherine Manners.
Catherine Manners.
This is Manners. Seems you found something rather interesting in your investigation.
To say the least.
With the fact that you've found a victim, we have increased Mr. Mallard's threat level. He needs to be taken in or taken out. We prefer him taken in. We'll leave it up to your decision as far as if you think that is possible. But you and your team are authorized to translate wherever he went, find him, and if possible, bring him back. But then you hear her voice change a little bit. But if what I hear is accurate about what happened to this other person, I would completely understand if it was very, very hard to bring him back. Do we have an understanding?
100%.
Call us when you get back. Click.
All right. So Dino's going to look at the other three and say, any of you guys been to an recursion before?
No.
No, none of us have.
I would assume that we got trained on how to do it, though, right?
Yeah, normally someone in the party is meant to have done this before to make more sense that you guys can do that.
I'm presuming that Quentin has been trained in it since it's
All
training
of
versus
you have.
application. Training versus application, though.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm going to, again, to just keep the plot moving forward, there is an actual intellect-based role that you have to do to do this, but with there's actions that you guys can do to make it easier and make it take less time. So to make things easier and to avoid having to send you to like Ruck or something, or some of the recursions are really, really interesting. Like there's one that's basically Seattle, but nobody lives there. There's everything that makes it look like people used to live there, but they all just disappeared. And you got to figure out why. We don't want to take you there. So you guys start your translation trance. Since
Like
this is the first
Detroit.
time you guys have ever done that, this is a bizarre experience. As you translate the world, you guys go into a trance for it takes 10 minutes when you have people helping. And when the translation starts, you see kind of a doorway open and you all are flushed into it. You see just an alien landscape all around you of shapes and colors that don't make sense. You see different, like, almost like signs, it looks like, that you see. And the person that's driving would recognize these posts. And you guys feel kind of drawn and eventually are taken to another place where you all just kind of wake up in a windowless chamber, and you feel very, very bizarre. Very quickly, we will start with Dino. Dino, as you kind of wake up, the first thing you notice is the leather jacket that you were wearing before is now a leather jerkin. It's much closer to armor than a leather jacket ever would be. It's tough, reinforced leather. You go feeling for your nightsticks and you realize they're not there, but you notice something cold and metal on your hips. You look down and you have a pair of sabers that weren't there before. You look at the rest of your clothing and you look like you just stepped out of Lord of the Rings. It's really weird. And as you look around, despite the fact that you've never seen any of these things before, this feels familiar. The word Arden comes to mind. And then the word Shalmarn comes to mind. And lamb's blood. And you get the feeling lamb's blood is a proper name of a place. And as you kind of sit up, you just kind of absent-mindedly take your sabers out and just start doing just almost busy work with them. But you realize, like, you're kind of twirling these sabers really well. And you've never done these movements before, but they feel as natural as anything you've ever done. And you think you could be pretty deadly with this. As you look around, you look over to see Walter. Walter, again, is wearing a similar looking jerkin to you, but he has a rope going across it. Walter, as you feel like something caught on your back, and as you get up, you realize there's a rope across your neck that feels really weird. As you get up, there's a bow. You have a bow. And then you feel, and a quiver. And you're like, what the? And you know that it's called a quiver. And you know how to knock an arrow. And you start looking for the handgun you normally keep. It's not there. And you start looking for the tools you normally keep. And you've got this strange, very, very thin knife and all these other things that you instantly know are fletching supplies that you use to fletch arrows. You don't know why you know this, but you know beyond a shadow of a doubt how to fletch arrows. And it is really, really bizarre.
Do I have my cards?
You look down, you do have your cook of cards, but as you look at them, they don't look the same. The
Hero cards
numbers are different.
And then
Yeah.
They have pictures of naked ladies on them. No. They all the numbers are not the numbers that you recognize, but you can read every single one of them. It's a completely different language you've never read before. It's runic based, but they make perfect sense.
That's weird.
You look over at Quentin. Quentin has had probably the most drastic change. Quentin, his ears look different, but the first thing you notice is his skin is a deep ebony, almost indigo it is so dark that it almost looks like it draws in light.
What the?
You notice physically you feel different. As you stand up, Quentin, you're taller than you remember.
Whoa!
Your limbs feel different. Your fingers are longer than they used to be and much more agile. And you can feel this kind of innate power inside of you. You guys notice as he gets up, he has this kind of glow to him as this light just naturally shines forth from him. Quentin, as you notice this, you instantly kind of react and you realize that you can kind of suppress the light if you want. And you get this thing in your mind of a word, myth light. And then finally, you look over to Dawson. And Dawson, as you wake up, you look at your hand and it's on fire. You instantly start kind of tapping it out, and it doesn't go out, but it also doesn't burn. And as you sit there and you kind of twirl around, you notice you can control where the flame goes. And then as you look over at Dino, you can instantly see, in Dino, you very briefly have a flashback to the decision you made just before all of your men died, and just how horrible you still feel about it. And Dawson, you see that at the same moment. You don't completely understand it, but somehow you know that he has committed a grave wrong.
Yeah, step away 1 second.
Okay. A grave wrong. Something that you instantly just call in your mind a sin, and you can feel it. And you can feel kind of the pain that it carries with it, and you feel like you could almost manipulate that pain into the fire that's now going across your fingertips. As you all kind of look around at your new bodies in this new place, you realize you're in a room, and as you look around a little bit, you realize that this is probably a pantry. It's got floor-to-ceiling shelves and racks, all manner of foodstuffs, platters, utensils. There's like smoked haunches of different animals, burlap bags with like grains, and barrels with ale. So you guys look around and you're like, oh, okay. And you can see that this place, it has a nice wide open area where you guys appeared to make it very easy for you to translate in. But what you don't see is a recursion key back to Earth. Nor do you see, there are things called translation gates that allow you to pass between two recursions without having to do a translation yourself. There's nothing here that can get you back to Earth that you can see. And unfortunately, that is where I'm going to have to end it for tonight. So, sorry we have to end it, but it's getting kind of late for me. I hope you guys had fun.
Yeah, this is really interesting. This is like definitely this is the pilot episode of a television show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope this at least gave you a bit of a taste. I wish we could have done more stuff with the foci stuff. Technically, if you were to play an actual Strange game, you start with a focus and then you change focuses every time you translate. I just didn't want to put too much on you guys at once, because it's a real easy way to overload people. For anyone still watching, thanks for to tuning in. I do upload all this stuff to my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/ChitchaTrainerJody. This is an experiment I'm doing for the month of December. If you are interested in playing in a game like this, next week I'm planning on running the Avatar Legends Quick Start adventure. Avatar Legends is a brand new RPG. They just kickstarted it this past summer. So that's what I'm going to be doing next week. So if anyone is interested in playing, just hit me up on Twitter, and that actually had pre-generated characters that I don't have to make, so I'm happy about that. Otherwise, again, that's all for me today, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, bye bye.